In this video we're going to take a look at another filtering feature of Excel. In the past we've used on the Data tab the auto filter. If you choose auto filter, Excel automatically puts these drop down arrows at the top of each column. You click on the drop down arrow and you select, if you're testing for equality, you select the values that you want here in the check boxes. If you're checking for inequality, you can go and create a rule, and your rule goes over here and you just fill in the blanks. Now we don't want to do auto filter today. What we're going to do, there's sometimes when the auto filter doesn't do what you need to do, and when that happens there's an alternative, and the alternative is to do something called the advanced filter. And before we try that, we're going to open up a little space here, and when you use an advanced filter you have to divide your spreadsheet up into two parts. Your data part, which I've just pushed down on the page, and then you have what's called a criterion area where you put the rules for filtering. And the criteria area must have a copy of the column headings. And then the way it works is, if you want to filter on first name, you list the values that you want for first name here. Same for last name. If you're testing for equality, you just put the values that you want in successive cells underneath the column heading, and that's all there is to it. If you're doing something a little more complicated, like using relational operators like we might do in the credits column over here, you do the same thing. You put the rule, and if you have multiple rules, you put them on multiple lines. Let's start with some simple examples first. Let's say that all I want is the business majors. I can put BUAD in the major column, and then I'm going to put the cursor down here in the data before we start, just like we did with simple filtering, and click on advanced. And because I had the cursor in the right spot, it automatically selects the correct data for me, and then I have to pick the criteria range. And the criteria range is this area up here, and I could pick all of it like that if I wanted to, and this means that in the major column I'm looking for BUAD, and if I don't put anything in these other cells, it means I don't care, and I don't care what's in the other ones. I just want the business major, so I'm going to go back here and finish this up. Also, most of the time we're just going to filter in place. If you wanted to copy it to another location, you could, and then you'd specify that range down here. And all the records are unique here, so this doesn't really apply in this situation. So I'm going to click on OK. And if I go back and look at my data now, all I've got are business majors. Doesn't matter what the other values are, I've just got business majors. If you want to clear it, just go up here and click on the clear button. And let's try getting business, accounting, and HRM, because they're all in the same department here. And let's do an advanced filter again. And again, it selects the data correctly for me, and I need to specify the criteria range. Right now it's just taking these two, and if I leave it at that, it's not going to pay any attention to these. So I'm going to pick the whole thing, and this time I'm not going to do the values over here on the side because it doesn't really matter whether I include that part or not. And when you have rules on multiple rows like this, Excel treats them as if they were connected by the word OR. So I'm looking for somebody whose major is BUAD, or whose major is ACCT, or whose major is HRM. So it checks this rule, and then this rule, and then this rule, and if none of those work, it skips the record and goes on to the next. If any one of them works, it will select the record and display it as one of the filtered records. So we should get business, accounting, and HRM here, and we can also go in and sort this after we're done. So I'm going to do that to make it a little bit easier to see, and got exactly what I wanted: business, accounting, and HRM. And we'll stop there.